Let's accept this openly, that we all want to make more money, but we are often told that it takes money to make money, which in my opinion is only half the truth. The reality is that money is a resource, just like your time and energy, and while you may not have that resource to supplement your current income, it doesn't mean you can't acquire it. So, how do you get the money you need to start multiplying your income? It is simple: you borrow it. And, in this video, I will share with you 4 ways how you can make money with debt. Now, the idea of using debt to make money may sound odd to you, and if that's the case, don't worry, because I too used to think this way. You see, most people are taught that debt is bad or evil, and that the best thing you can do for your finances is to rid yourself of all the debt. Of course, the people saying this aren't totally wrong, as certain types of debt will hinder your ability to improve your financial state. However, there are certain forms of debt that can make you richer than you ever imagined. The truth is that poor people generally use that in unproductive ways, whereas the rich have learned that with that comes leverage, which can be a powerful tool in making money. So first, let's review how both groups of people use debt and then get into 4 proven ways that can make you money. When it comes to the poor, they generally use debt to buy liabilities like a car or a brand new TV. Even the things they consider to be investments like their homes are bought using debt. Now, if you still believe that a home is an asset, then I'd ask the following question to you. Is your home making you money or costing you money? The definition of an asset is something that puts money into your pocket, and a liability is something that costs you money, which in the case of housing repairs and maintenance makes your primary residence a liability. In broader terms, the poor use debt to acquire depreciable assets, which are things that generally lose value over time, and this habit keeps most people financially enslaved to debt for most of their lives. This is why 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. They see items they want, spend money on them, and then struggle for years to pay the interest and debt balance they've built up due to their irrational spending. The rich, on the other hand, avoid this debt drop altogether by focusing their time and energy on leveraging good forms of debt. They focus their attention on acquiring income-generating assets by using other people's money, whether that's a bank's money, investors, or even family and friends. So how exactly do the rich use this borrowed money? Well, here are 4 ways you can use debt to make you rich. In the United States, 85% of stocks are owned by the wealthiest 10% of citizens, which means that hundreds of millions of people are foregoing the financial benefit that can be realized when investing, while some shy away from investing due to the fear that the market will collapse. The reality is that most people don't invest, simply because they don't have the money to do so. However, if they spend time investing with their financial intelligence, they would know that while investing takes money, it doesn't have to be your own. The first way debt can be used to increase your investment power is by investing on margin. Investing on margin allows you to buy a higher dollar amount of stock than you actually have the money for. For example, if you had $50,000 in your traditional brokerage account, you could leverage your investment and open a margin account. A margin account allows you to only put up a max of 50% of the purchase price of a stock. You would have $50,000 in cash, and an additional $50,000 would be given as loan to you from your broker. Your $50,000 investment gives you $100,000 worth of buying power. You could use this money and buy $100,000 worth of stock. If the stock price appreciates, then you can pay back the loan and pocket the profit. Sounds great, right? The negative side of this debt is that if the equity in your account falls below a certain value, your brokerage firm can issue a margin call, which will require you to pay back part of the loan by selling off some of your stock, or adding more money to your brokerage account. This method of investing is quite a high risk and something that should be left to more experienced investors as well. The propensity to make money is great, the risks are certainly heightened. The other way to invest using debt is to leverage a mortgage. Most people who buy a home cannot afford to do so strictly with cash, meaning that some of the purchase prices of their home will be supported by a mortgage loan from the bank over time. As mortgage payments are made or the value of the property increases, you begin to build what's called equity or invested value in the home. What many people will do is borrow against the equity in their home, either through a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit. Then invest this money into other long-term assets. Quite frankly, this is quite a savvy financial move that can be very profitable when done correctly. You see, mortgage loans are some of the cheapest forms of debt, and the returns you can make on this money can be significant. For instance, if you took out a second mortgage on your home at 3%, which granted you $50,000, and put that money into the stock market that averages a 7% return, then after a year, you would have made $3,500 in investment income, or $2,000 after your net return against your borrowing costs. You see, while the poor only look at their savings account when thinking of investing, the rich know that there exists so much more investing potential beyond their own piggy bank. If you were to ask the investing icon, Warren Buffett, what the best way to invest was, what do you think he would say? Invest in stocks, buy real estate. Well, both are solid investment strategies when done correctly. Buffett's been famously quoted as saying the most important investment you can make is in yourself, and continuously educating yourself is one of the ways to see your wealth score over time. It's why we see the majority of people assume tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt in exchange for a college education. However, when you run the numbers, this financial move makes sense. The average college graduate will earn $1 million more in their lifetime than someone whose education ended after high school. Therefore, there's no doubt that the $30,000 or $40,000 you will spend on tuition will come back to you in time. Let's face it that most people don't have the cash on hand to pay for their homes and investment properties. Recent surveys showed that under 30% of homes are bought through cash-only transactions, and this makes sense. Saving up hundreds of thousands of dollars is no easy task. Well, the thought of not borrowing and being mortgage-free is endearing. Using debt to acquire real estate is usually a better financial decision if you're trying to build wealth. Let me use an example to better illustrate what I mean. Let's say you have $200,000 in cash and are considering two different investment strategies. One is where you buy one property outright, and the second is where you divide up your cost to use as multiple down payments. In option 1, you can buy a $200,000 worth home that provides you with a net cash flow of $1,500 a month. In option 2, you split up the $200,000 you have into four $50,000 down payments that you use to buy 4 homes worth $500,000 each. After mortgage payments and other typical housing costs, each property provides you with a net cash flow of $500, or a total of $2,000 worth the rental profit a month. Now, both situations have their pros and cons. Owning just one home means only having to deal with one tenant and avoiding the interest rate risk that's associated with owning multiple properties. However, I would argue that owning the 4 properties is more beneficial for a few reasons. First, owning multiple homes diversifies your rental risk, meaning that even if you have one tenant leave you, you will still have 3 tenants paying you every month, whereas in option 1 your rental income stream dries up immediately. Second, owning 4 properties allows you to benefit from the appreciation of 4 houses versus just one, which over time will increase your equity in your homes, and ultimately your net worth. So, if the $200,000 house from option 1 rises in value by 4%, then your appreciation would be $8,000. However, if you own the 4 houses for option number 2, and they all rose in value by the same percentage, each house will be worth an extra $20,000, for a total real estate holding appreciation of $80,000. Finally, as we saw, when comparing the monthly rental that comes from the 2 options, owning more properties has the potential to earn you more income. Therefore, when used to acquire real estate, debt can be a powerful tool. The least obvious and potentially most lucrative way to use debt to make you money is to use it to eliminate other forms of debt you may carry. You see, while paying down high-interest debt isn't directly making you money, it's saving you money in the form of interest payments, and that's just as valuable. So, how can you use debt to save you money? What you will want to do is identify your highest interest rate debts and then seek out opportunities to acquire debt at lower rates in order to wipe out that costly debt of yours. For instance, if you can refinance your mortgage at 3% and use that freed up money to pay down your 20% credit card debt, you can cut down on interest payments dramatically and save yourself money in action. This technique could look like the following. Say you have $20,000 worth of credit card debt charging you 20% annually. At this rate, it would cost you $4,000 to carry this debt for the year. However, if you were to pay down that debt with $20,000 you took out on a home equity loan charging you just 3% or $600 annually, you would be saving yourself $3,400, which is not a small amount. Therefore, sometimes fighting debt with debt is the wisest move you can make. Thank you for your time. If you believe this video has added value to your understanding of finances, please like and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing content.